Well, there we have the Wildwood Flower, which was composed and originally performed by the Carter family with Mother Maybell Carter on guitar. And that style of hers is very idiosyncratic. It's actually, I believe, her invention, which is to play the melody of whatever song that you're doing on the bass notes of the lower notes of the guitar. Usually, you would hear it on the upper register notes, on the higher strings, as it were. And so, in effect, this distinguishes Mother Maybell's playing in a way which I want to flesh out, this time around. Last time I talked a lot about Jimmy Rodgers' impact on a, stylistic level, and certainly on in terms of creating a persona and an identity, and how important that was in country and western music. Now, this time around, I want to talk more about this notion of traditionalism, that is tied in with much of old time country music, right? And which then morphs over time into, I think it was 1940. Basically, during World War II, Bill Monroe invented, bluegrass, right around 1942 or so. And before that, it had been old fiddle tunes handed down, which were traditional Irish and Scottish and so on tunes that. But here in America, what you have is a melting pot. From Jump Street, it's a melting pot, and so those things change rapidly. They aren't the same songs, Pretty quickly, they become something other than a jig or a reel. In any case, that's where we're going today. We're going to talk about the music side of it, but we're also going to talk about the cultural impact of that side of it, which is actually much more significant than the guy shooting bull, fast-talking, quick hand-jiving dude, hoboing around the country in a cowboy hat. That guy, Jimmy Rodgers guy, although I think iconography-wise and so on, I think that's cornerstone to defining what is pitched as and later sold as country music, country and western music for that matter. It's what we're going to talk about here is much more about a cultural conservatism within southern communities and rural communities in general in the United States during this part of the 20th century we're looking at, and what that means. But we also want to look at something that I think is even more important than that, and that is the role of women in country music, particularly Mother Maybell, obviously, is a woman, and her sister, and it's just the whole family. There's a lot of gals in the band, right? And I think that it's important to realize that although part of the hegemony in terms of like a traditional sense, certainly A.P. Carter was no feminist, right? That guy was not exactly, he was a very stern sort of fella, and different from what I understand. But in terms of the impact culturally, what you have is, yes, these women are part of the hegemony, Loretta Lynn and whatever, The Pill and so on. But on the other hand, they're, with the music from Jump Street, they're not being objectified like you would see in rock, pop, rap, hip-hop, all these different other styles of music. The only other style of music I know where they're less objectified, or sort of equally less, not objectified, and as well as sort of cherished, and so on. Again, in a traditional, hegemony sort of framework, but still, where they have significant roles as people, as opposed to just objects for sex, would be R&B, the blues. That's it. You got the R&B, you got blues, and you got the country and western stuff. And then there's love songs and ballads and stuff in rock music. But my goodness, generally speaking, it just doesn't seem to, it doesn't add up in the same way. And you don't have as many stars as well. The country music was full of women who were stars from Jump Street. So I think that that's important to understand and to look at as well. So that's what we're going to start here. Now for the next musical number.